how Ocarina of Time's past could have been changed from the future. Now, the statement may sound a bit odd because typically it's the past that influences the future. Because technically, if the future influenced the past, it would in turn also influence the future. Yes, this is going to be one of those weird videos. Now, this isn't going to be about the casual time loop situation with the Song of Storms, but today we're going to be talking about how being at the wrong place at the wrong time could have changed the story in Ocarina of Time, and how someone could abuse the situation to affect the past in ways that would be seemingly untraceable to anyone living in that current moment. Yeah, it's a bit of a crazy concept. And speaking of crazy, I brought along my friend CallMeKota to throw his insanity into the ring. He makes comedic gaming analysis videos on Nintendo 64 games and the like, so check him out. But without further ado, let's take a deep dive. When I think about it, Ganondorf really didn't stand much of a chance when it came down to the fact that Link gained the ability to manipulate time. Link getting stuck for 7 years sucked for all of Hyrule, let's be honest. But the fact that he could warp back to the past simply by placing his sword back in the pedestal is honestly incredible. While Ganondorf's out here moving his forces across the map and claiming the world for himself, Link gained the ability to play 4D chess. How do you stop someone who can undermine your plan from the past while you're stuck unknowingly in the future? Honestly, if Link never grew up, it makes me wonder if he would have succeeded. Sure, we can see his strength isn't tied to age when it comes to Majora's Mask, but that Link had already gone through the turmoils of Ocarina of Time. He's like Frodo in Lord of the Rings when setting sail to the Undying Lands. Kinda broken, but I digress. The thing is, Link's time-traveling power wasn't just through the Master Sword. He had another, and we were accidentally influencing the past every time we used it. And these were the time blocks.
So vanishing blocks aren't really new to the Zelda series at all. On the Nintendo 64, if Link plays the Ocarina of Time, these blocks appear or vanish. They're honestly kind of weird because there isn't really an explanation as to why they exist. However, through some digging, we can kind of see how almost all of these vanishing blocks are linked together. Take for instance the sun blocks from Majora's Mask. These blocks can be activated by concentrating fixed beams of light onto them through the mirror shield or by hitting them with light arrows. Once they're hit with light, they essentially vanish into thin air just like the time blocks. The vanishing effect is very similar to what happens with the time block too. Kaepora Gaebora, who is the Sage of Light Rauru, as confirmed by Hyrule Historia, helps out Link several times throughout Majora's Mask too. One of the first encounters of the Sun Block happens to be at the entrance of Ikana Castle, a kingdom shrouded in shadows where the use of light is required to not only complete the dungeon itself, but also to defeat Egos du Ikana, the king of Ikana Kingdom. After being defeated, Egos du Ikana states that the spellbinding put on him and his servants had been broken by the light in which Link carries. It's possible that these blocks were placed here by Rauru to prevent Link from entering the Ikana Castle before he was equipped with a weapon capable of vanquishing the darkness inside, just as he previously guided Link safely to the Lens of Truth. Rauru also straight up built another Temple of Time during the Era of Chaos, potentially leading us to believe he may also be responsible for the Stones of Time. It's possible he's the creator of these stones and has used them to assist the Hero of Time across multiple timelines. Then you have the Goddess Cubes from Skyward Sword. They're not entirely in the same boat, but hitting them with the Skyward Strike unlock chests that provide useful stuff. All of these blocks share a general theme of being created by spiritual beings, and these blocks are used to assist the hero through their journey.
And this is really interesting, because with Rauru being able to manipulate the world potentially through the creation of magical blocks, it leads us to a very perplexing situation. It only makes sense that the time blocks, similar to the Temple of Time and the Ocarina of Time they are tied to, were probably brought to the world through Rauru. The origins of the Ocarina of Time are unknown, and is said to have been passed down through the generations of the royal family. But seeing as structures that are tied to the Ocarina, like the temple, were created by Rauru, it makes you wonder. If you build a lock, you probably had a hand in making the key. As for Rauru, we encounter him throughout our journey as both a child and adult. The era doesn't matter. The owl is still stalking us. Much like the Ocarina and the temple, these time blocks are tied to time itself. And it's neat because it wasn't until many years later that people realized what was happening when Link actually played the Song of Time in front of a time block. We thought they were just disappearing, but they were actually being transferred back in time, either 7 years to the past or pushed forward 7 years to the future. It's funny because I never thought about where they were going until I saw a video last year by speedrunner ZFG. In this video, he goes over how the blocks, in most instances, hop from one time era to the next, unless the area in the game only temporarily stores that data. Game logic aside, most of the time they travel to and fro. And that's what makes these blocks so dangerous in the hands of someone like Link. Now, it's unknown if these blocks can actually be moved by any means. There's never a situation in which we're able to push them. But then again, with Link's strength, perhaps he could. If they aren't forever tied to a certain position in time though, these blocks could honestly be extremely dangerous. Think about it. If you could transport a block to a specific location in the past or future, you could essentially kill someone by spawning a block on top of them. Imagine telling someone to meet you somewhere, only for you to travel 7 years in the past to snipe them with a mysterious magic block. Or using your knowledge of the future to utilize your 7-year linked time space to alter the events of the past. Inga ruining Lon Lon Ranch? Find out where the lad sleeps in the past, warp to the future, and crush him. I mean, you could just stab the dude, but isn't it more fun to snipe someone by fusing their body with a giant stone block? With clever placement, Link could alter the past from the future. Something that's pretty strange to think about. Now, I don't know how the flow of time would work if an event like this took place, but I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories on how this could be utilized, or even if you think it could. It's a pretty silly concept, but it's funny how one simple discovery, years later, gets my mind racing all over the place, and takes me back into the land of Ocarina of Time for another nostalgic trip. Now, if you're still watching, I want you to do me a favor and check out CallMeKota's channel. It isn't very often when I see a smaller channel that absolutely wows me, and when that happens, I feel like it's important to let people know about it. If you want to watch some high quality, comedic gaming analysis videos on some of your favorite nostalgic games, this channel is for you. I highly recommend checking it out right now for some amazing content. You can find a link to his channel at the end of this video and in the description below. Cheers everyone!